Levicity, episode 4.
Please
That might
keep
be the
that in
only
the
time I
tape
get to
too.
do this. That was awesome.
Please keep that in the tape.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good wherever you are, and welcome to another episode of the Levicity Show. Today we have a very special guest. We got Darwin as usual. Again, if you guys know where Daryl is, he's missing. Please send us a message on Instagram if you can locate him. This is the 4th episode without him. Well, 5th?
Probably, it's been a lot.
He's only been on 1 episode. That's what happens when your friends get girlfriends.
Damn. But, you're going to have to put it on blast like that.
Relationships really become your world.
It does.
At the beginning, I mean...
Yo, it's like you never see a friend.
Yo, if the relationship is good, it's the entire relationship.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So,
Love you, honey.
Just keep doing you. It's okay.
We got Zamid here, the Viking King, for another episode. And then we got a special guest, Olivia. How's everything been? How's your weekend been?
It's been good. Trying to sleep, as we were talking about off camera. That's it.
So, for the people who don't know you, what's a good intro for you? Like, who is Olivia, the OG?
I feel like I'm still working on my intro. That's a great question. You know, like how do you introduce?
That's a good answer.
I'm working that up.
Okay, fair enough.
I like that answer.
Thank you.
So this is my 4th time asking Darwin. How's
Well, in the last hour or so, my last weekend changed again. I don't know how that happened. It must be magic, but yeah. It was eventful.
That's good to hear. Zamin, how you been?
Pretty good. Everything is good. And family is good. Kids are good.
Okay. How's it been sitting down and doing these shows with us?
Yo, I like this. I like this a lot. This is fun.
For context, for people who don't know, same day. As you can see, we're wearing the same clothes. So, for those who couldn't figure it out.
I want to double back, by the way, but yes, continue.
Wait, double back to what?
To this eventful weekend.
Oh,
that was like still in my mind as you all were talking. I'm sorry. But because I felt like we glazed over that.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But I'm going to let you guys run the show.
That's exactly what was supposed to happen.
Okay. I'm still learning. This podcast situation. Right. Go ahead, you guys.
But it's been a while. For those of you who don't know. Damn, we've known you for how many years?
Oh, no. A lot. Shit. A long time.
Yeah,
how old am I? You've aged me by saying that. I got carded, though, just now. You guys.
That's a blessing.
I know. I was just like, it was fun. I was about to say something, but
that's how you know you're old.
I get
this gets edited. Like you're gonna decide what not to.
I get upset.
What not to include, right? Because I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You're good. I get upset because they don't card me anymore.
Yeah, after I grew this, they don't card me anymore.
They're like, your old ass.
I was gonna say, Con, you have your nice like mature grays coming in. You look no. I had to. I noticed. I was like,
she just called me old.
We fuck with him. We fuck with him every day overseas because we're like, yo, this job is aging you. Because when he came in, he was like a young Barack Obama.
I was young and
vibrant. And now, dude.
I'm sorry.
We fucked with him today.
It's distinguished.
I got a gray chin hair.
Oh, I got those.
Hey.
I didn't know that was a
That's
thing.
distinguished.
But I have one.
Yeah. It comes, they're going to see more.
It sounds like you need more stress. You don't want it to be lonely, right?
You gotta do what Daryl did and get a girlfriend. And you see, why am I coming at my own? Females are awesome, first of all. We are not the problem. But I'm sure we'll get into it.
Yeah, we sound guilty. I don't think anyone said females were the problem, right?
I saw the joke. I was just trying to land it, but no. I love you. No.
That's my one gray hair.
I see it now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, now see?
Right there.
Right there. It's just the one. It's fucking bullshit. But so how have you been since it's been? I think the last time I saw you was years ago too. How have you been? What's new with you?
just so I opened the bar with my business partner in 2020, right before the pandemic happened.
Great
So
timing.
just literally recovering from that ever since.
Okay.
Literally.
So for those people who don't know, what is it that you do for employment, business?
I was a teacher for 4 years, and that's a monster, like all on its own. Decided to leave. I heard that you're kind of in the same path right now with entrepreneurship. Like quit, just left and decided to open a restaurant with my business partner. And I almost said it was the worst mistake of my life. That was like my initial response, literally just now. But I don't view it that way. It was a learning lesson, and it is what it is, you know? But I just feel like I don't want that to be my story. That, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm personally, it's like me telling you guys what it is, but inside I'm just like, yeah, I don't know.
So you said you were a teacher. What is it like? What was it like being a teacher?
Oh, before that, what was the worst mistake? Which part exactly? The restaurant, the teaching, all of it?
That's such a loaded question. Wow.
It sounds like all of it.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a journalist.
Okay.
I'm sorry. In my head, I'm like, do you not see how far off I like, you know what I mean, my path? So in my head, that's how it feels. But the mistake, I think, when I said it, I believe I was just solely talking about the restaurant, just because I love New York, you know. But that specific area, like I have a huge, I want to forgive and just let go. But it's just like business. People say business is business, you know? Like business is business, put the personal aside, da, da, da. I thought I could do that. And then it's like you're in a restaurant, you're in a bar, and you're talking to all the people and the patrons, and it's like, it's not like that. They don't let it be that. They don't let it be business is business. When they know you in your establishment, it's like, so where the discounts at? Where's this at? Where's that at? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't want to bore you, but you can already imagine, I'm sure.
When you have friends that have a business, if you go to their business, you need to support their business. You're not there to take advantage of the fact that you're their friend.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm the first to say I asked for a military discount when we had lunch earlier. I asked for that shit everywhere. But I ain't gonna do that if I'm going to my friend's place because they need my money. They didn't open a business to give their friends free shit.
Absolutely.
That's just
Absolutely.
It makes me think about those people who say that they feel kind of like entitled to your support, but I feel like that goes both ways.
Absolutely.
I get what you say. I think we had that conversation before.
Did we?
Yeah, I think this was years ago, though. I think we had that conversation like when I first launched like apparel and stuff. And I do think that there's people who do feel like they're entitled to your support, but that's not true. I feel like nobody's entitled to anything. And if you go to support, if you have a good experience, you have a good experience. If you don't, you don't, but you let the person know. And I do hate the whole, yo, we know each other. Yeah, let me get a discount. You know what I mean? I hate that because...
And it's wildly uncomfortable.
Yeah, but...
No, I just want to really say that to the camera.
It is. And then, but they'll ask you for a discount, but then they'll go buy a fucking $4,000 bag with no discount.
Do you want to look at the camera while you say that? Because honestly, I need to, seriously.
You're going to buy a $4,000 bag with no discount.
Wait,
and there's so many layers to that, by the way.
If we just met, like we just met today, can I come and get a discount? No, I'm just playing.
The thing is, and maybe you guys can speak to knowing my personality. I would. I was that kind of person. You know what I mean? I know. And that was my problem in teaching and in business. And I feel like I'm shifting. I can feel myself shifting because of my experiences. And Okay, so in teaching in business, it's like I'm a people pleaser. I'm just like, okay, you know what I mean? People pleasing, and it gets old real quick.
Oh yeah.
Gets old.
Do you think you're still a people pleaser when it comes down to like business and things like that?
No.
How was that transition?
It's difficult. It is really, really difficult as someone who like just has that kind of personality. And I saw this. I didn't watch the entire documentary on Ric Flair, but I saw a snippet, and he said it's hard to stop being Ric Flair once you're Ric Flair. And I felt that to my core. And I used to. I don't really watch WWE. I'm not gonna pretend to like, but knowing my uncles and my brothers and stuff, I just felt it in that moment that he was a character, and it was like, hey, it was hard to stop being that character. And I felt like I built this persona up inside of me just because I was always just anxious about how people were and how people viewed me and this and that. And honestly, I'm in my 30s and we cursing on here. What?
Yeah,
I don't
you can
give
say whatever
a
the
shit. I really don't. So that's why I'm at y'all.
I saw that thing about
Like
Rick.
that.
Was it Theo Von talking to Ric Flair that you saw?
I can't remember exactly. I just remember Ric Flair saying it in like the promo for the documentary,
It was
and it's
so
stuck with
good.
me ever since then. Yeah.
I think there's power to that. I think, yeah, being a people pleaser is. I mean, we had a show where we spoke about energy,
Yeah.
and it's draining.
Oh, that definitely ties into that. I think people pleasing will take a lot of your energy.
Yeah, I think it's a military thing too, but we're not gonna talk about the military on this podcast.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah,
Thank you, Mom and Dad.
You got two civilians over
Seriously?
here.
Hey man, you're not a civilian. You served. You soldier for life. That's what they tell us.
They ain't telling me that. I ain't get the memo.
so you're not a teacher anymore. What made you decide to put that cape down?
Not teaching itself. I know what I'm good at. I'm a damn good teacher. And it was really honestly administration. I feel for teachers out there. I know what my mission is if God continues to let me live to fulfill it. I feel like teachers can't speak up. They're in the industry. They can't say I'm ready to say some stuff.
Were you DOE?
Yes, DOE.
Yeah.
4
feel bad.
years.
Yeah, that's
Not
rough.
even a scratch of a surface.
Yeah.
Only 4 years.
You know, I heard this interesting study today that apparently the DoD owns some schools. It's like all the schools on military bases. It's ran by the DoD. The rest of them are ran by DOE. But the DoD, the kids there, they have the highest scores by a landslide compared to the DOE, all the other schools.
And wait, what's the DOE is? Sorry, I'm not.
Department of Education
Yeah.
versus Department of Defense.
Defense. Okay, defense.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like the military, government. And the reason why they attribute that to is one, the diversity. Is you go to a military school, it's a diverse crowd because everyone on base is bringing their kids there. So you're in a class with Asians, white, Hispanic, blacks, everything in between. But also, it turns out that those teachers are paid a lot more. Like they said, an average Department of Education teacher gets paid like $40-some thousand a year. DOD, they're getting $70,000 to $80,000 a year. So it was an interesting study that I heard, and it's why a lot of people in the military, they're like, okay, my kid is going to a school that's
DoD?
ran by the DOD.
So are you implying that the quality of education has to do with how much they're getting paid?
I think if you get paid more, you care more. I know people become a teacher because they want to teach, but at the end of the day, you have kids, you have a life, you have family, you have bills. If I feel unappreciated at my job by the and when I say unappreciated, I know administratively you could feel unappreciated, but at the end of the week, if my check is X and my needs are Y, and I don't see Y coming in the near future, fuck that job. Because they don't care about me. All they care about is that I come to work every day and do my menial task according to them. If they cared about what I was doing, they would pay me what I was worth.
Okay, I definitely see that point. I think it has nothing to do with pay. For certain teachers, I'd say. I think it can be a motivating factor. I think it does not change the workload that we get. No matter how much money was in this field, I was going to quit. I was absolutely going to quit. Now, even at the current pay it's at, hey, I might go back depending on where my path takes me, and that has nothing to do with money. There's a lot that teachers go through. Like, I just don't. I think that it's deeper than that.
Do you feel like if you want to teach, I know you have a subject that you have to teach. Let's say you teach math. Do you feel like anything else that you want to impart on the kids, like life experience, political views, is all of that curbed? Do you have to follow a script to be a teacher in, let's say, the New York City Department of Education? Are you allowed to impart your personal views, or do you get in trouble for that? I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I have relatives that are teachers, and I know the shit that they go through.
Yeah. And then on a podcast.
They're also still employed by the DOE.
Also still I should tell you guys too. I'm substituting. I'm back in.
Oh, okay.
In
Then
Jersey,
don't answer my question. Don't answer my question.
So you can decline to answer.
Okay, we gotta be diplomatic. Yes, we go ahead.
Do you think that now, in the current state of affairs, with the way politics is and the way that the world is going, do you think that certain issues are pushed on you that you have to implore?
Teachers are not going to teach. I'm sorry. I don't know. Okay, I know where you're going with this. Should I let you finish for the camera? I'm sorry, please. I interrupted this question. Please.
No.
With the current state of the world.
So with the current state of the world, do you feel like political agendas are pushed in schools now, public schools, that you have to follow the script?
I'm so slow. I think I get where she's going.
I think it's not feasible to separate the two. I just don't think it is.
Okay.
I think that the government, especially with public schools, are funding our education, and they're going to tell us, so yeah, the government's involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It sparks a lot of questions.
Private school it is for my children. I'm bringing you child.
No, but I'm not. My response to that is my son is in a private. He went to private school, but he is currently in a public school in New Jersey. And
do you feel like he's getting a better education at the public school or versus the private school?
Thank you for that question, because there's anxiety inside of me with choices like that, So I don't know.
It's tough as a parent to know. I have 3 kids, and I struggle with that decision every day, whether I Catholic school, private school, charter school, public school. One's good for my child, one's good for my pocket, one's good for, there's a middle ground, but I just don't want my children to be influenced by outside factors. I want my kids to go to school and learn the curriculum, and that's it. Yo.
I think that's what every parent wants.
I'm sorry, if I was in the audience, I don't know.
Thank you.
Like, don't parent my child.
Exactly.
Don't parent my child.
Exactly.
I go hard for my son. Like, please, don't parent my child.
Exactly.
Sorry. Am I allowed?
No, you're good.
It's funny, though, because I hear this debate a lot. Like, I went to private school. I also went to public school. And, I went to private
Makes
school.
sense. No, that's funny, bro. I love it.
But the private school, in my opinion, was worse than the public school. Reason being is because I feel like in a private school, they try to cultivate an environment that's not realistic. So it's full of people who are handpicked and who can afford to stay in that school, because private school is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
But when you're done with private school, like I went to private school from 4th grade to 8th grade. Then I went to fucking public high school. I went to Andrew Jackson High School. That was hands down one of the worst schools in Queens at the time. I got hit with reality in high school. And that public school was I got to see what reality was really like. And I feel like I learned a lot more life skills in a public school than I did private. Private school, I learned, of course, I was better at learning math and all of that shit.
Yeah.
But in public school, I learned how to be a person in a functional world, or a functional person in the world better in the public school.
So it's funny that, because while you were talking, something popped in my mind, but I didn't know how to relate it to the conversation. But then you brought up what you brought up, and it made me think of a Mayweather interview that he had. And literally exactly what you said is what he said. He said his kids all go to public school, and that's the reason why, because it represents real life.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I also see the value in like privates. I don't even know the difference between a private and a charter school.
My wife went to Catholic school. She told me she'd never send our children to Catholic school. My family's, my wife is Catholic, but the education that she got versus the education that she got once she reached college and she went to, a SUNY or a CUNY, she said that she only learned what they wanted them to know, and it was focused heavily on religion.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying anything bad about religion, but in this world, religion can only get you so far. You need to know social skills. You need to know how to make a dollar. You need to know how to interact with people of all races, colors, creeds. I only went to public schools my whole life, and I'm like a chameleon. like if I went to a Catholic school, I feel like I would be a setback in my production as a human in society, because only certain kids go to Catholic school, and you're only going to get a particular education from a Catholic school. And I'm not just saying Catholic school, it could be Hebrew school or, whatever other religious affiliated school that you go to. You're only going to learn that culture and that religion, what they want you to know. And then you're going to get out into the world, like you said, and you're going to be lost.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like like when people go on YouTube to research something and they just find a bunch of everything that they were looking for.
Yeah.
Just to solidify their own views. That's how I view it. I don't know if you could answer this, being that you're still in the field. You can decline to answer. How do you feel about the educational system as a whole?
Okay, before I answer that, I did want to comment on, because I'll transition, but I do understand where you're coming from about sending your kids to my son, the private school he went to is a Catholic school. I would never take that back. I totally see your point, though, in terms of having that one-track mindset on that specific ideal. But for me, it's still a foundation. So that's how I really, truly believe education starts in the home. That's my view on education. Being diplomatic as I can be, I don't do parent-teacher conferences anymore, so I'm just going to assume this is okay. Parent...
As a parent or as a teacher?
I don't do it as a teacher anymore, so I feel like I'm good. But as any parent-teacher conference I went to be quite frank, it was this student might be problematic. Let me meet the parents. That's all. That's what it is to me. You know what I mean? Like it really is. Okay, what's happening in the home? How are you going to connect with this kid? You have to get down on their level, and it's first getting into the field, or if you're not trained well, you might just be thinking about that child in that moment, trying to get them to learn your lesson, and that's it. As opposed to thinking, this person is a human. Did this kid eat breakfast today?
Yeah.
What happened today? You know what I mean?
So you mentioned at the home, what did you teach? What grade level?
High school is what I didn't start with high school. I student taught in a middle school, student taught in a high school after that. And it's so funny because anyway, I'm sorry. It's just that it's so dynamic because now as a sub, I've been mainly working with like today I was with kindergartners.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny to see how you can don't have any expectations. Don't ever go in thinking, I have kindergartners today. This is how they act.
Yeah.
Okay? They're all different. It's all very dynamic, very, very different.
You think teachers are given the tools to succeed?
Absolutely not.
I knew that was the answer.
Like, absolutely not. I student taught. Next to the main teacher, they're not, you're never going to really be fully prepared. And my first thing to people will tell me, I want to be a teacher. And my alarms go off. I'm like, let me save you. Do you have any other skills? What do you want to do? Don't do this. This is my inner, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I know I love to teach. It's so complex to explain. If I could do it my way, I'd be a teacher. My son was reading by the time I could teach with my eyes closed. They don't let you. They don't let you teach. And that's how I feel about the education system. All the teachers are full of anxiety, because you never know when someone's gonna walk into your class. Me and Khan, we went to the bar, and we can talk about it. We and Khan, you see, I'm a teacher, because I'm like, hey, what's my audience? What's going on? I have my cup, and I'm just like walking around, and Khan's like, let me get a shot to go. I'm like, they do shots to go? Like, this is amazing, because I've been a hermit. I've been in New Jersey, like, for 2 years, and so after the pandemic, it was like I understood like the drinks to go and everything. And that's how I connected it to teaching after that. Because when he's like, yeah, we're grown adults. Why shouldn't we? This should have been a thing. And I'm like, yeah, we're grown adults. Let us teach. Because we'll have teachers who say, man, if you want to get the results that you want, leave the room. Yeah, leave the room.
That lost me. I needed
you
to
want to know why? To get the results, you don't want to see what I have to do to get the results. Because I'm not going to look like, sit down. There's certain things that, like, if you should have a podcast full of you'll have stories for days. There's teachers who've thrown desks at the board. You don't need to know I'm more of a crier. So, but I've built up, I've, done what I needed to do, but it's a lot.
I hear stories from people in my family that work with, not special needs, but like special education. And they have children that bite. Mm-hmm. They have children that all they want to do is play. They don't actually learn. They'll take their shoes off in class. They'll hit the teacher. And the teacher has really they have to continue the lesson. They can't really stop the class because the kid bit them. But then, like the person that I'm speaking about would be like, text the teacher and be like, hey, are you okay? Like, what happened? And they're like, oh, the assistant principal came in and, he spoke to the kid and the kid likes him. So he listens to him when he shows up, but I got to just go back to work the next day. And then the kid's parents will come up to the school and the kid's parents will be like, oh, he's sorry. He's okay. And the way the education system is now, there's no accountability. So the teacher is the last line of defense for this child to be a productive member of society. But it needs to also fall upon the parents to take, you said it yourself, teaching starts in the home. If the parent is too occupied with their life or their phone or their, whatever bullshit that they got going on, that they don't take the time to educate their children to go to school, how is it fair on the teacher? Like your job is to teach the children. Your job isn't to be their parent, and your job isn't to be their warden. Your job isn't to be their they're the executioner or the judge. Like you all you see is a child. You don't see like what goes on in the home. So I think parents need to be more accountable for how and what they do before they send their child into the education system, because you get paid to teach, not to do anything other than that. And it falls upon you guys, unfortunately, to do all this extra bullshit, which it's a sad situation. So my heart goes out to you. I feel bad for you.
Hey, I got out. I feel bad for y'all. Let me stop. Because, even as a substitute, it's because they know my credentials. It's like and even without that, it's like I know that I'm meant to, I kind of take on the role as teacher anyway. Like because I know it's kind of like, I think of the substitutes that took over for me when I wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, they leave me work and I'm just like, hey, we have to get this done. And yeah, it's, even though to be honest, because I struggled so much as a teacher, now I'm just like, you guys, I can get the hell up out of here and go to a new school. You know what I mean? That's where my heart really goes out to the teachers, and I'll leave notes, or they're so appreciative. Like when you guys have kids, teachers are so appreciative for you to take the time to notice what they do. Like I'm just subbing and I'm not at that school too long, but I see the struggling teacher with the cart, and I'm like, and I saw her lesson. I know she's trying, and I'm like, girl, you did good today. And she just stops and she shows me like that meant so much to her, that you even took the time to do that. So just little things like that is like, it means so much, So thank you.
Damn.
I've never met a happy teacher.
And it
That's
sucks.
deep.
No, it's true, but
And the happy ones turn into administrators.
Like officers in the military.
But what sucks about that is like that's such a crucial career for like civilization. And it's like you don't see people who be like, yeah, I'm chasing the money, I'm trying to be a teacher. It doesn't work like that. Like my sister always said, if you want to find a good woman, go for a teacher. Because it's a selfless job and you actually have to care about children in order to be successful in that field.
You can't fake that.
Yeah.
The kids know. The kids, they'll walk all over you, right?
Absolutely. And they have no shame about it. I mean, kindergartners don't have shame. So it just gets more subtle and sneaker as they get older. But yeah, it's, yeah.
I do think our educational system needs a upgrade. I feel like it's been stagnant for far too long. Random thought. Do you know the last time toilet paper was reinvented, I guess, or updated?
That is so funny that you say that, because I just watched the Seinfeld episode where they were like, toilet paper has never changed. I don't know.
Toilet paper just changed.
Again?
Toilet paper changed more recently than the educational system.
Changed how?
That's hilarious.
They're going to start, I think the idea is, Charmin, they created like when you rip a toilet paper, it's a straight dotted line that you rip. And, sometimes you get the fucked up rip. So they created like a staggered rip so that you get a perfect rip every time you cut the toilet paper.
Side note.
I'm
Random
done.
side note. After I met my wife, she introduced me to baby wipes.
Yo.
I don't use toilet paper anymore. Yo, fuck Charmin. Yo, I'm 33. I've been with my wife for just over 5 years. I've been doing it wrong for 27 years, man. It's just like, yeah. Even my kids, they're like, I don't want that. I'm like, I give you the baby wipe. I got you.
Two things that people got to switch to. Baby wipes and a bidet. Can never go wrong with those two things.
Self-care.
That's it. So when you're not substitute teaching, what are you doing?
Just honestly enjoying the simple things in life right now. Truly. I feel like once you've done, I think I've taken big chunks out of life, which I'm sure you guys can relate, military and all the things that you guys are doing. I've taken big chunks, and now I'm kind of just like, when you guys were speaking of like, I'm very super. It was hard for me to admit that I had my issues with religion, but I've become that now. So I feel like that's helped me find peace. And like we were talking about how the pandemic has, everyone's taken what they took away from that. And a lot of that was just getting closer with God and praying and realizing that not to hold on to what I thought were failures at the time, and accepting that those were part of my journey. And now it's just literally, I'm just taking things as they come. Subbing right now, and one of my big projects is helping my mom publish a children's book, like, which is, it sounds, I don't know how it sounds to everyone else, but it's like my baby. Like, I love that she came up with this and she's so excited for it, and it makes me excited. Like, I'm like super into it, and I always wanted to publish my own novel, and it's just hilarious that like I'm like, Mom, you're gonna be the first published author of the and I'm like, you didn't even, it came out of nowhere for her. She was living in when I moved to New Jersey, she was living in Queens, and it was a horrible situation. Like, my life was just terrible, and I left. And I was just like, I'm leaving you guys behind. Like, I'm going to make sure, not like that, but it's just like, you're like, we're just on two different paths. You guys are driving me crazy. You guys are going to stay there. I'm going to go there. I'm going to try to bring something back to y'all. That's how it usually goes, right? Somebody is just like the motivator. They're like, let me break off, even though I love y'all, and then I'll come back and get y'all. Because y'all, you know? So then that's what it was. And when things went kind of left for me, my mom stepped in huge. She's the reason why I still have my house. I love my mother. She's a freaking saint to me. So when she came up with this idea and it filled her spirit, she only wanted to hand it out to the family. Like, she was just like, hey, like, look at this. Like, do something with it and give it to the family for free. I'm like, girl, I see a bag. Okay, so we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something with it. Make some
money, man.
Yeah, it's like, so that's what I'm really passionate about right now, and also just like working on my own stuff because I do love to write. And yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
So, first question is, what is it like working on a children's book?
It is.
How's that process been?
It's frustrating and invigorating, and I'll start with the frustrating part because I want to end on a good note. The frustrating part is that the traditional publishers make it so difficult to get published. And thank God that we live in a digital age where there are so many other avenues. So my spirit is not broken. I'm like, I see God in everything. I'm just like, okay, this is like, I feel as though, and I don't know if you guys can relate, and I'm sure you can. Please tell me if you can, that when you're like crawling through and you're really struggling, and then you got there yourself, I mean, that feeling is unmatched. So I'm just like, hey, it's cool. I don't even, if the big publisher house don't notice how great this idea is, I'm still gonna push. They truly make it difficult. You need a literary agent. You need somebody to see your vision. Jeez. And people don't always see your vision, right? Like, it's hard. It's hard.
Sometimes only children can see the vision.
Yeah, of a children's book. You'll have the agents like, yeah, we love children. You guys see the bag. Like, we love children's books. Send it to us. And no.
You know, you sent me a draft, and I already expressed to you how much I fucking loved it.
Thank you.
So that was actually going to be my question. What is the book about?
So it's called Dr. Do Much, and a play on Dr. Doolittle. And he basically is in the sciences. And the first book is Dr. Do Much, Botanist. And he's about plants. And I think that what children books are missing, and I'm in schools all the time, they're very just lively, you know. I feel like hers centers is just very educational, just very like, let's breathe life into like the science. She loves sciences and like history and stuff. So for the series, I honestly just went, like, I was like, we could just do so much with this, but she really wants to focus on the sciences. And I feel that it not only is it entertaining, because like you saw like the beginning where it's kind of like introducing, it very much like shows the steps. And that's where I feel that it will succeed. Because that's what we're missing.
That's what I wanted to ask too, because I don't know if you want to publicly say it, but you had a very interesting concept to the book that I've never heard of before that I look forward to seeing. So I don't know if you want to talk about it on the show, or should we all just wait for the release?
That's a good question. I wish you asked me that before so I could like think about it a bit. No, I want to say it. So it's very interactive, the series, which is what I feel like makes it completely different from other children's books. So each series that, or whatever he becomes in the sciences, at the end, it really pushes your thinking. So botany, it has like a packet of seeds where you can like plant. Or her next one is like etymology, where it's like, hey, let's like look at birds or something. I'm not in the sciences, so I probably just messed that up. But every book literally has something that you can do for the kids. And honestly, having a 14-year-old son, I know, and this is like I'm curious about any dads in the room and like future dads. I know I missed out with my son chasing everything else I was chasing. You know what I mean? Like, that literally hurts my heart. Because me and my son are super tight. Like, he literally FaceTimed me while I was here, like, you know you can play Venom on Spider-Man 2? Like, you can play Venom. Dude, I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Like, I'm like, that's crazy. It sounds like Spider-Man GTA. You're killing people? We're like going back and forth. So for me, I'm like, we're already so tight, but there's a lot that's happened, just personal stuff that's happened. And realizing my mindset at the time, I was like, man, kid, if I had you in my 30s, this would have been a dip. This, you know, would have been. But I love our relationship. Is just, I feel that this series, just to double back, it's really about interacting with the families, getting the families together. My mom loves to like call me up for like, let's plant, like let's do something together. So that's what it's about.
I think that's important. And I think especially in this day and age, like people like interactive things. Absolutely. And so that's like a plot twist to books, in my opinion. I really love appreciate reading. That. Yeah, you have no idea how that makes me feel, because I think that she doesn't see she's my mom and she's like in her 50s and she's like, hey, whatever. Like, she was like, this is just for the family. And I'm like, no, it's like, this could be for other families, not only us. Like, let's spread it. So I was really appreciative to see how excited you were about it. Yeah. I think that's how it starts, you know. I think there's always somebody who can see the vision, and eventually it expands. But I do look forward to seeing a release of it.
Thanks.
Me too.
When is the release?
It's going to take, this is something that literally just happened recently. Like, she came up with it, and it's going to be a while because we have to do illustrations, and I'm still considering self-publishing. And by the way, talking about like ownership, just not even in the music industry. It's like other industries as well. I think I want self-publishing for her because I'm like, hey, you get control. You get to have it's not just, because I know that's everywhere with the music industry, but yeah. So I feel like with the digital age that you can have high quality print on demand and control everything yourself. So I am considering that. So it might take longer. So I don't have a date for that yet.
I will tell you, we were deployed recently, and my wife got my kids a book. It's called "Oh, the Places Daddy Could Be," and it was written by a woman whose husband's in the military. When I tell you, like, she just bought 2 more copies because I have twins, and they want, if I give one the phone, they want the other one wants the phone. They want the same. So we got them, but anyway, reading them the book. I'm reading them the book, and like they're 3, and they're laying in their cribs, or their big girl beds, as they call them, because they're not cribs anymore. And they're like, I'm reading the book, and they finish the sentences because I have a whole library in my house for them, all children's books. They love, they don't know how to read yet, but like they'll pick up the book. At first it was upside down and it was really funny, but now they like look at the book and they like follow along. And something like what you're describing, it's like right up my kids' alleys because, you know, as a parent, finding things to do with your kids is so difficult, and everything costs an absurd amount of money to do stuff that's educational for your children.
Mm-hmm.
And like being able to purchase a book or two, because I have the twins, and then, you know, letting them see at the end of the botanist book that they can take the seeds from the book and grow something. And maybe that sparks their interest in becoming botanists, or, you know, like I love.
Okay, how are you guys hyping me up even more? I'm like, I'm gonna go call my mom.
Dude,
Like,
dude.
Right after this show,
Right?
make
Like-
it happen.
I love that. That's such a beautiful idea. I'm so happy that you guys are doing that, and I'm glad that it's in your family and it's in self-publishing. Get that money, make it for your family, and generational wealth.
That's it.
Yo, make your son. I have a 13-year-old also.
You do?
Yo, well, she calls me bro. She's like, yo,
He calls me dude.
yo, it's
Dude, like
there's nothing. Yeah, she's like, she told me today that the schoolmate, she was in gym, and she's like, I ran 15 laps. This is definitely child abuse. It's fun, man. It's definitely a life-changing experience to have children.
I love that. Like, I love that. I love hearing stories like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely. gonna
just
make
a
that
little, you know, tidbit about the book. The Dr. Doomich is actually modeled after a picture of my son when he was like 4.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he had like a little bow tie. And I was like, yeah, you're going to be Dr. Doomich, the first Dr. Doomich, because the series is actually, so the next one would be a different scientist or whatever. So we're trying to play with the ideas. So
Does
yeah.
your son draw at all?
He does. He
You
does.
should do the illustration.
Hey, I meant, trust me, you know, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yo, y'all gotta
So-
copyright that.
Right?
Do you know how many books are gonna be in the series, or
No, not yet. Yeah, right now we have 3. And you know, we'll see.
It's endless.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many possibilities, to be honest. When you think of something like that, and something even if self-publishing, because I'm thinking in the schools. You know what I mean? Even if it doesn't, because I like to humble myself. You never know.
Yeah,
you
of course.
never know. But I know that for myself, what being like in the field, I'm like they would benefit. It would be it's an amazing experience to have something that you can actually interact with.
A nice thing you can think about is like you can do some sort, not a GoFundMe, but like you can release like the idea, the title, and you already get your place where you're gonna create the books, and then just get people to order and then do it on demand, so you're not spending so much money to have the product sitting around.
Or like a fundraiser, I think.
Similar to like basically the promise, like they order the books and then you spend the money, you make your money from their orders, you get your profit, and then you spend the money to actually produce the book, so you're not sitting around with product.
Yep.
But I'm sure it'll sell because it's a great idea.
No, but what like you said, print on demand. That's absolutely. Thank
And then
you.
the digital, digital is key.
Yep. Audible and all that stuff. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I really do look forward to it. I mean, I ain't got no kids, but
And we won't ask for a discount. We'll pay full price.
always pay full
Promise.
price. Matter
I'm
of
gonna
fact, we'll
hold
pay
y'all
more.
to that. All right. I'm gonna hold you to that.
So you're
Oh, 3, like 2, 3, 4 copies for you. How many twins you got? You got
It's two girls.
just the one pair. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
for now.
Right.
You working on another one?
Fuck no. That shit is expensive. I'll
We'll
have
revisit
3
that question
son-in-laws,
later.
Yeah.
Wait. So you said you
I
have a
3
pair of
girls.
twins.
I
3
have
girls.
3 girls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm 33, one's 13, and 2 of them are 3 years old. Wow. And my wife is, I'm not going to say her age, but she's older than me. So I'm very blessed.
Beautiful. How long have you guys been married?
5 years. Wow. Yeah, it's fun.
Nice.
He told me overseas, it's like, you give me faith in humanity, because all I would talk about is my wife and kids while we were over there, because
That's
I
beautiful.
love them. I was afraid to come home. I thought they weren't going to remember me, the little ones. The big one, I knew she was going to remember me. She's like, what up, dude? But the little ones, when I got home, and they're like, my daddy is home. I'm like, yo, it fucking melted my heart. It was the nicest feeling in the world, man. I was crying. Like,
That's really dope.
yeah, it was cool.
There's nothing like it. Like, honestly, my darkest days, that kid won't even know how he got me through. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nothing like it.
Have some kids. Have some kids.
Pop them out, man. Oh, well, you can't pop them out. Get somebody to pop them out. It's nothing like
Are
it.
you assuming? No, let me stop.
It's nothing like it. I'm done, by the way. I'm done.
One
The
and
one
done.
and done. My sister said that too. She was like the one and done.
Because what you guys said, energy. He saps every bit of it. Well, am I going to bring a second one into the world for me?
You know, it's not all sunshine. She's right. It's not all. I watched them today. I've been watching them, and like I'm off the rest of the week, and I have to watch them. And like, dude, you can't do shit when you're watching kids. Like, you can't clean, you can't cook. Like, Daddy, I want to go outside. Okay, we go outside. So I prepare to cook outside. Daddy, I want to go inside. I'm like, yo, I got everything raw meat here. Like, I got to finish cooking, but I want to go inside. I want to ride my bike. You go inside. You cook for them. I want to go outside. I want to go to grandma's house. It's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how my wife's a saint. I don't know how she does it.
But you know what? You don't give yourself enough credit, because the fact that you know, like, hey, I'm done, because they sap my energy. That I feel that comes from really truly caring and wanting to know your kid, because they wouldn't sap any energy if I didn't give a shit. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
true. It's
I
true.
really,
Thank
if you
you.
really,
Thank you.
really, really like
Yeah.
are absorbed in them,
Yeah.
they'll take that energy.
And you find yourself like,
Not to say that parents are out here not giving a shit
No.
about their kids.
I mean, there's people out there who don't give a shit about it.
I'm saying though, okay.
I'll say it.
you know how like when you have to scold your child and you're like, you see the look on their face and then you immediately like, why did I yell at you? Like, I'm really sorry. Like my 3-year-old said to me once, she's like, Daddy, you yelled at me and I didn't like it. And I'm like, you know, you're right. I shouldn't yell at you, because at the end of the day, they're little baby humans and they don't know like what the story is. Like all they know is at the minute that they're complaining about, I mean, it's every minute, but at the minute that they're complaining about what they're complaining about, they don't know what's going on other than that. So you have to kind of like take a step back.
That is so true.
Right?
I'm so glad you said that, because I had that moment today where it was like, I have to remember, not only with my son, but I'm like, I have to remember you guys are kindergartners.
Yeah.
Like, you might really not know. Because I stopped today and I was like, y'all know what y'all doing. And then I looked to God. I was laughing. I was like, they know what they're doing. Jeez. But you're right. Like, I really do have to remember that. And even with my son, we have candid conversations of like, I have to apologize to you too. You know what I mean? He told me like the difference between me and my dad, like me and his dad, is that my dad will just straight up just say sorry. And I was like, oh. That's the woman in me. Like, you don't know about any of that yet. Like, I have to work. Like, I have to say sorry. I have to like, yeah. But, you know, it's all a learning lesson.
That's dope. Yeah. You guys give me hope for like all of that stuff. I mean,
I told you overseas, you're going to be a good dad. You don't know it yet. You're going to be a good dad.
I don't know it yet.
You don't know it yet. You're going to be a really good dad.
I'm good with kids. I love
What makes
kids.
you say that? I'm just curious. You know, tell me
So
what
he was essentially my boss overseas.
I was not your boss.
He was in charge in the structure of the military. He outranked me, and he delegated he's the first person to be like, okay, it doesn't matter what your rank is. If you know what you're doing, do you? He covers you when it needs to be covered, and he allows you to grow as a person. He's not just like, I'm the boss. So like you need to be like that when you have children. You were in the military. You had some leadership, I'm sure, that was toxic, where they're like, fuck you, I'm the boss. And then you had leadership that was like, listen, at the end of the day, the job needs to get done. If you know the best way to get this job done, we're all going to benefit.
Man.
Kind words and flattery. Thank you.
My man.
No, that's that's
making
amazing.
a dark man blush.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
You made me lose my whole train of thought just now.
My bad.
That's amazing.
I do have a question for you. What is it like being a writer as well as a teacher?
It's not a balancing act because it doesn't exist. I feel that it's difficult to give yourself to a field that requires so much and expect that I'm going to have the same output for my own creative expression. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I was asking that because I feel like both of those fields require a lot. Like it takes a lot to be a teacher, and it also takes an extremely a lot to be a writer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It both require so much energy. I mean, that's all there could be said about that.
So do you have any tips for anybody out there who's who is a writer or wants to be a writer, but they're also juggling other things like a 9 to 5 or whatever it is they have going on in life?
I'd say just find center yourself, because I do feel that eventually continuing on the path that I am, I'm going to be able to balance it better. Yeah. Once you center yourself. And whatever that looks like for each individual. Like for me, that's prayer, that's meditation. Knowing my triggers, knowing when my anxiety is, like whatever that looks like for anybody is like center yourself, and then you'll be able to like delegate yourself. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Okay. And what is the process of writing like?
That looks different for everybody.
Like, what is...
For me, no, I'm fine.
I was going to say, what is yours?
Sometimes,
But I will...
Honestly, it's not even, it was smoking for me. I was smoking a lot. I stopped, I couldn't drink anymore. You guys made me nervous, so I like bought a long, I was telling Khan, like, I was like, wow, I haven't drank in so long. I went to pot. Can we talk about pot?
Yeah, we...
Okay. So, yeah, that kind of opened my mind up, to be honest. I have a relationship with weed. I really do. And I recently just quit because I'm just like, this is so interesting, because I'm curious to see if I don't know if anybody smokes here, but whatever. Not whatever, but I don't know if you guys can relate. It's just that it was helping me with my anxiety at the same time worsening my depression. It was the craziest thing. I had to stop. I was just like, okay, my anxiety is cool, but I am sad as shit. So I had to I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna start breathing in life, and it was just better for me. So it looks different for everybody.
So question to that: do you think?
Oh, I'm sorry, but the reason why I brought that up to connect that to writing was because I feel like I didn't answer the question. Was I felt that the calmness of smoking when I first, because I only started smoking 2 years ago. And I didn't really, a lot of stigmas against it, I didn't want to try it. And then once I did, I was just like, okay, this is for me for a specific reason. And it was opening my mind up creatively to just calm when I was calming down, because the Alamo and the bar and all that bar life was crazy. I mean, we couldn't enter because someone had a gun. At that point, I was done. I was like, okay, you guys, you can just ask us to leave. You did. You brought a gun to my place. I'm done. Goodbye.
Yeah,
so that was like ridiculous. So yeah, it just calmed me, and I was able to just, I don't know. But even with the weed aside, my process with writing is journaling or trying to learn to be confident in my writing. So I'd say that.
Okay. I do have another question that I want to ask you. But I think if you're open to it, you should come on another episode where we talk about it. Sure. Because I did want to ask a question about the anxiety versus depression. So if you're open to talk about it on another show.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's important because, to be honest, everyone who's spoken about and been vulnerable about their anxiety and depression online, you guys saved my life. Obviously my son is literally the person who saved my life. But just prayer, meditation, my Bible, and everything that everyone was willing to put about themselves out, I was just like, damn, I'm not the only person going through this. So I would absolutely speak about it.
Oh, yeah, that's powerful. So I'll ask you one final question. This is on the spot.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not good with on the spot. But let's do it, because you're gonna get the face that you get. So you get the reaction that you get.
Nah, you got this. If you could pick one moment or experience in your life, one lesson learned in life from that moment or experience that you can say without a doubt, if it didn't happen, you probably wouldn't be where you are today, what would it be?
Oh, wow. One moment in my life. If it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be.
You wouldn't be where you are now.
I'm sorry, my mom. It's hard to choose between my mom and my son. I think I'd be 6 feet under without my son. And I think I could have made it with a different parent and my son. Like, my son is probably, like, he saved my life. I was on the bus one time, I couldn't breathe, and I was like, wow, this is anxiety. Like, I wanted to kill myself. I thought of my son, and I was just like, I need to get to him, and I'll feel better. And he doesn't even understand that. But I was like, once I saw him, I could breathe again. And that's when I was like, you saved my life, bro. You saved my life. Like, because I don't know what I would do without this kid. I don't know what I would do without him. But my mom, you're a close second, bro. Like, you're right there, man. Man.
Yeah. And now, is there any social links that you'd like to share where people can?
Nah, you can't find me on anything. I don't got social media. No, you can't.
Good for you.
Not yet. I'll share that next time.
All right. So with that being said, is there any closing remarks from any of you guys?
You're a nice person. I'm glad you're here. I like you, and God bless your son.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You all right?
Yeah. You know what? I appreciate that because there's still things I'm working on, you know? So, yeah. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
No, it was a pleasure for you coming out here, joining us, having a conversation. It's always nice to see growth in people. Especially, we had a show where we spoke about like the block and everything, and just people that we met during a certain period of time. And it's nice to see people who progress outside of that.
Absolutely.
So
I literally had I guess off camera. I'm like, but no, that means a lot just because I've had a lot of conversations with people from my past, and it was really lethargic, really therapeutic, really eye-opening to see how forgiving people could be, and really eye-opening to see how people from your past will continue to like remind you of who you were, and then you just decide if you want to participate in that. And I never will. So
there's power in that. Well, we appreciate you.
thank you.
That's the end of the show. Happy 80-20. Happy Levicity. Happy Hakuna Matata. Fuck being average. And we'll speak to you soon. Oh, you got to do the snap again. The power's yours.
Levicity, episode 4.
Damn.